is me like growing up, like maybe 4 years old, and I remember like feeling like I was like in a different planet because I didn't understand anything I heard. It was very like traumatizing. Like I was very intimidated by everybody else, you know, like all the students, because they all were bilingual. I wasn't bilingual. And, like, my most memorable was when I actually translated something for my mom, and I was like, what, 6? And she actually got mad at me because she's like, what? No hables ese idioma? ¿Qué? ¿Estás hablando inglés? Like, she got scared, you know, like I was assimilating and I was forgetting Spanish or something.
Yeah.
So it was cool because I remember like I was reading everything. Not only had I just learned to read, but now I could read in English, and I'm like, wow, like I work, like my brain functions. Because before in kindergarten I felt like retard, and then I was like, hey, I could do this. So it was bittersweet. In high school, I was always a good student. My parents just expected that, so I was always. And then my high school is like low income, so just the regular classes are very like behind, you know, because of the placement and you know. Well, I'm gonna cry now. Just because I see how hard my mom, you know, she wakes up at 4 in the morning and she goes to the fields, and it's like, what other option do I have as an undocumented person in California? What other thing can I do than go and work in the fields? And it's like, I don't want that. Our people are as intellectual as all these other people who are in higher education, you know, they just don't have the opportunities, and they don't have a fucking social security number. Now, I always second guess my choice, like, I think because it's so difficult, and I'm, like, when you're undocumented, nobody teaches you how to be undocumented, how to encounter all these hardships. So it's something very difficult, and being 19, 18, it's like, not only are you dealing with your own like changes, as in like emotionally and personally and physically, but you have to encounter all these hardships. And for me, it's been very, very overwhelming. Sometimes I think maybe I should have stayed at community college, because most of the AB 540 people that I meet here are transfers. But I don't know, sometimes I think, you know, maybe I should just go back. Maybe I should just go back because it's so expensive. As an undocumented, I haven't really found a place here that meets my needs, and I don't think it ever will, because it's such a tough issue. Like I mentioned already, nobody teaches you how to be undocumented. People could teach me how to be a freshman at UCLA and what I could do to academically and socially succeed, but no one could teach me how I could do that as an undocumented student, regardless of what grade I am in. And just like the money issue, you know, like I'm sitting in class, I'm trying to focus, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, you know, the first is coming up, I have to pay rent, I have to pay these bills, I don't have food, or, you know, I want to go home, but I don't have money, and I'll have my mom calling me because she needs money, and I'm going to send her money, but then that's going to make me short on this, and it's going to make me short on that. So, you know, I have all these academic responsibilities, but also all these economic responsibilities. So that's just, it takes a toll on you. It just takes a toll on you. You just can't balance everything out. I want to go to graduate school. I'd like to do history. I like to be a professor, like a history professor, or do education, or do an education graduate program to go back and work in my high school, because it has a lot of problems. And I see so many potential in a lot of those students, but I just feel like they get pushed out, like their needs are not addressed. I don't know. I just want to be economically stable, and socially and mentally and physically, emotionally, and just like be normal and be able to help my family, and they don't have to suffer. I live in an RV. Like, the living conditions that I live in are not what people live in, you know, like I don't want my sisters to grow up like that. I want something better. And if I always felt like I was like the second mom to them, and I feel like it's my responsibility, and I talk to them, and that's what keeps me going. And there's a lot of people in my life who encourage me to keep on going and keep on going, even though sometimes I just want to cry. I'm like, I don't want to cry, you know, because it gets frustrating. And I just do it for myself. I love learning. I don't think I will ever stop learning. I don't think I will ever stop taking the class, you know. And there's so much more to me than this illegal status, you know, and I feel like sometimes our Congress people don't see that, and I am so much more, and why is it that I'm not worth that because I don't have a social security number? You know, like, not only can I economically contribute to this economy or to this state, but just like as a person, you know, I'm a good person, so why don't you not see that? It's not like I'm a criminal like you portray us in the news every day, you know, and it's like, look at what people suffer to be here. You're obviously doing something right, so why can't you just help these people out if they give so much to you? And I don't know, it's just so difficult. I just think that we need to make people more aware of the situation, because I don't think there's enough information on it. And I just hope the dream like passes.
I was born in Tepatitlan, Jalisco, Mexico, and we immigrated to the United States at I was 8. I was about to be 9. We immigrated in 1996. It was January, and that February was going to be my 9th birthday. Like, education is extremely important. My mom, she only got a 3rd grade education, so she always wanted us to, you know, to do better than that, to graduate from high school. That was like her ultimate goal for all of us, to graduate high school. You know, college was never like, that was like her really, really wildest dream. So what she just wanted was for us to graduate high school. When I graduated from high school, it was like the biggest thing in our family because I was the first one to graduate from high school. Unfortunately, my 2 older brothers never, you know, made it out of high school because they needed to work. And it was just the happiest moment of my life. Everybody was just there. To see my mom there in the audience with like a big old like cobija, and she's like, I'm here. She's just like waving it back and forth. I said that I do everything for my family. The realization of me being an undocumented person has sort of been like a process. I mean, I knew that I was here differently, but I just didn't know like what that meant. It didn't really hit me until I was in high school, and you know, trying to do that whole college work and trying to, you know, apply for scholarships and all that stuff. That the realization of like, oh my God, you're undocumented, you're a completely different person from everybody else on a legal standpoint. That's when it became extremely real. So I think it was around my junior year, my senior year of high school that I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm an undocumented person. What am I going to do? Just like I am here in Long Beach and in LA, here in California, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of myself, you know, all across our nation that are longing for a dream, that are longing to be able to just become a professor, to be able to just be an attorney, to be able to just be a teacher, a community organizer, whatever it may be. And they're probably at this point doing exactly what I'm doing, which is just sort of feeling like their potential is not being uplifted and you know, taken really into consideration. So yeah, you know, a lot of times I feel like those students are being shut down and not being given the full opportunities that they deserve. I think this is incredible. I think that just sharing stories is probably one of the best things that we can do, and I know that it's something that that I learned sort of here at UCLA, that storytelling is probably one of the best ways to sort of get into people's hearts and letting them know that it's not just about money, that it's not just about, you know, policy and how you can affect the country, but it's more about, you know, my own personal story and how I can relate my experiences with yours.
My mom, out of desperation, she brought me to this country, and she had left everything in Jamaica to come here. She had sold whatever she had.
And I always describe my mom as a lioness, you know, who was willing and is willing to do anything for her children.
I've never felt like an immigrant. I've always felt like everyone else, I guess.
I hope everybody understands that immigrant students are not very different from their children.
I've been recently caught by ice,
and I've been detained for 20 days before I signed my voluntary departure.
Well, my big struggle right now is, not having the documents, to do pretty much everything.